Welcome, travelers. Season 9 brings 3 of the most fun builds I've had with Diablo 4 in quite a while. Let me present you a Monkey Spiritborn, a Hydra Sorc, and also a new and updated Archmage minion Necromancer. Let's start with Hydra Sorc because it has the most fun gameplay loop I've had in quite a while. For this, we're jumping into the Infernal Hordes, and no worries, I'll have all 3 planets in the description below if you want to try them yourself on the test servers. The Hydra Sorc is using a new amulet to put out these ginormous hydras that get a total of, I think, 3000% bonus damage. Then you're simply teleporting around, spamming your ultimate, and summoning these hydras whenever you have full mana. Because for every point of mana that you have as you summon them, you get more damage, 5% more damage. Now I'm sitting at 272 mana. I can actually go up to 317 mana. That's 1500% bonus damage over that actually. And I'm not even maxed out yet. And that's pretty much it for the fun gameplay loop in the pit, in the open world, everywhere. You just summon those hydras, go around, clapping Belial. Even the Infernal Hordes with so much things going on feel very good. And the lower you have the ultimate cooldown, the more bonus damage you have. How does the whole thing work? We get the Ophidian Iris. This says, Hydra is now a core skill and summons a 3-headed ginormous Hydra with attacks that explode on impact, so area damage. For each head above 3, it gets 92% bonus damage, and that goes up to 100%. Casted Hydras have 2 bonus heads, so already 200% bonus damage. Amazing. Then on your 2-handed weapon, you can temper. Casted Hydras have plus 12 heads. That would be the triple masterwork if you get lucky. Plus 12 is the max. But 12 more heads is 1200 bonus damage. And then we're having Casting Hydra consumes all your mana to increase its damage by 5% per mana consumed. 272 mana, or if I drink a resource potion, 317, which means whenever then I cast the Hydra with full mana, we get 1200 more damage, 1500 plus more damage. And the way how we get so much mana is with the Chain Lightning Pants. Yes, Chain Lightning Pants. Because they say resource generation and maximum resource plus 80%. Without these pants, I am sitting at a measly 176. Getting these up, bangarang. That's a lot. We get the Harlequin Crest with bonus maximum resource as well, and the 4 ranks to all skills, which reduces the cooldown of the Inferno that you can actually spam it. And then you get your Seed of Bindings with the Primordial Binding. Because we're spamming the Ice Blades and the Familiar to maintain tons of summons that then with Primordial Binding, you get more mana regeneration again, and you get more summon damage. To then be able to actually, with all your bonus mana generation, actually go back up really quickly to full mana. Because you need this bonus mana generation bonus that then whenever you cast, like it goes back up, back up. And in order to boost the damage even further, casting a skill other than a basic or defensive consumes all of your primary resource to increase your damage up to 100%. This together with all the Hydras being out, if then all your Hydras attack, suddenly billions over billions over billions over billions over billions of damage with your Hydras. I know, usually Sorc is something that just spams your attacks, goes like every single Sorc gameplay is usually just hammering your keyboard. This one is so much more sedate and so much more relaxed. I can't help but enjoy it. I'm gonna do Hydra, Blades, Familiar, Ulti, Teleport, Hydra, Familiar, Hydra, Familiar, Teleport, Hydra, Blades, Familiar, Hydra. Then I do the ultimate, teleport in between, Hydra, Blades, right? It's just not like this 5 billion APM gameplay that we're often used to Sorc. And I think standard Sorc players might find this too slow. But for me, as someone who plays the Necro and Summoner Necro especially, this is just very fun and relaxed gameplay. And I'm just carrying my Hydras everywhere where I want them to be. I can clear any tier 4 content. I cleared a tier 80 pit already without having perfect equipment. You know what? This might be my new main thing I'm gonna do in Season 9. And the actual seasonal powers help it to become even stronger. We're currently using the Disintegrate beam as I just run around in circles in between my Hydras and have the beam cutting everything apart. Could use the Astral Pillar for taunting, or even Celestial Surge to pull things together, which might actually be better. Then we got currently invoking your Catalyst grants me a barium, so we are always buried up. Then my Catalyst applies vulnerable, that I do have vulnerable, and invoking your Catalyst gives me bonus resource generation, which kind of fits perfectly with the resource generation that I need. So nothing too special, just simple things. And since I do a lot of burning damage, we're going with Smoldering Ember. Because obviously we get the Hydras, we get all the burning damage, we're playing Combustion for the 100% bonus. Makes sense. And then we also got Horadric Jewels. While you have 2 or more Arcana from the School of Denial equipped, gain 30% more barium. Again, to be fully buried up, I got also more core stat and more maximum life. The more core stat I have, the more damage the minions will have. And then you do 20% more elemental damage and take 10% more. All things just fitting nicely together with all the stuff we have. Problem with this build is it's very masterwork intensive. You need to have the plus 12 hats. You need to have the maximum resource masterwork. You want to have the core skills. You really want to have here the intelligence, preferable 3 times masterwork and not even the devouring blaze. And you need this at a 100% multiplier. So there's not much wiggle room. You want the primordial binding, and you want the primordial binding 3 times masterworked. It's not like that 2 times is good. No, only hitting the 3 times the resource generation here at the maximum 3 times. It's a bit the Sorc problem, right? You like if you don't have perfect masterworks, it's just so much weaker. In comparison, Necromancer gets away with subpar masterworks and still be plenty strong. And as your enchantment, you can play the Hydra enchantment because this bonus Hydra gets spawned on top of the Hydras you do anyways. While with the Fireball, we had even more explosions happening. You could also do the Frost Nova because that would give us bonus Frost Nova conjurations, and it makes enemies vulnerable, but we kind of make enemies vulnerable with our boss power, so we don't actually need that vulnerable. So kind of like the bonus Fireball explosions seemed useful. If you're funny, you can add a Meteor enchantment and just have meteors falling down from the sky. For the Paragon board, we're going to have the planner in the description below. Now, I mentioned Necromancer, so let's actually jump over to that before I show you the Thorns Monkey Spiritborn. Currently a Pit 75, we're playing the Archmages, so 12 Archmages in total. And with Necromancer, people were worried that if we don't have Soul Rift anymore, how are we going to stay alive? How are we going to stay consistently buried up? Is there any way how you actually survive? And the answer is, yeah, plenty ways. You're just simply having to find other avenues of survival. And right now, due to some bug fixes and your minions actually getting the right amount of lucky hit, you're almost exclusively surviving with a normal Necromancer lucky hit for barium. Because of your 12 mages just attacking twice, it truly works pretty good. And the mages are doing up to 10 billion damage. Now the problem is that the Hand of Nas are still bugged and not as optimal as they could be. So they're not actually adding their bonus scale to Mage Mastery, which is a loss of 100% damage multiplier, 1.5 billion damage. Still though, we are going up to a possible of 10 billion damage. It is weaker than it was in Season 8 because you're losing this boss power 100% damage, 150% damage multiplier actually. And you can see there's a lot of normal white damage going on because we don't have 100% crit chance. So these are things that we have to fix. We have to get as much critical strike chance as possible to be able to like always critical strike, to always have your dudes go crazy. But the survivability is fixed, which means we can fully focus on damage actually. And that was where a lot of people were worried about if you then actually could focus on maximum damage. The way it works is quite simple. We're taking the Hand of Nas. They make after 25 attacks, our Skeletal Mages turn into Archmages. These teleport away when they get hit. And occasionally they can shatter with an attack doing 100% bonus damage. The problem with this occasionally is it's every 6 to 8 attack. It's not every 3rd attack, for example, which would be amazing. This leads to a subpar damage multiplier, so that they actually turn into Archmages doesn't do anything, apart from if they get hit, they teleport away. I do feel like Blizzard should make this either a fixed damage bonus, that every attack they do 50% damage, and it goes to 3 targets, or it says every 2nd or 3rd attack, just like the Ring of Mendon says every 6th attack. Otherwise, the damage bonus is useless on the Hand of Nas. The whole theme, though, is amazing. Problem with the Hand of Nas is you want all things greater affixed. Maximum life, attack speed, mage damage, mage mastery. Every single piece greater affixed. Then you're going to have a weapon, and the weapon has skeleton mage damage on it, and chance for skeleton mages to attack twice. Or finality that when we use our ultimate, we deal more damage multipliers. The good thing is, we can play the aspect of service and sacrifice. This one usually has our skeletal warriors explode. We don't have skeletal warriors. Skeletal mages take 90% less damage. They're undying. That's why the teleport doesn't make sense. And they do 200% increased damage. Bam! So cool. If then you also have your Army of the Dead increases your damage by 165%. That is a significant multiplier. I mean, we're looking at 365% of bonus damage. Together then with the Corpse Tendrils multiplying your critical strike up by another 50%. Holla dollar, that's pretty nice. Ring of Mendown, super damage. Love to see it. We get the Harlequin Crest for the bonus cooldown reduction on our Army of the Dead, with the Shroud of the False Death boosting all of our passives, and then the Blood Moon Breaches getting that Hellband Commander up. We're also sacrificing our warriors for more shadow damage. Then you have your mages for the bonus damage for each active shadow mage. Well, we have 12 active shadow mages. Alone that is another 36% bonus damage. We love to see it. The Golem gets sacrificed with a critical strike damage booster, and then with the 12 mages also down here with the Callan's Edict, we're getting a lot of attack speed plus bonus damage. That attack speed together with the Hand of Nas is already enough to actually fulfill the Cult Leader node's needs, that we are easily sitting at that 200% bonus damage here as well. So you notice a lot of damages are coming together, and since we don't need the Golem, we can say something like the Send of Death board, which gives us more critical strike damage and tons more damage reduction, actually. So that's quite amazing. Then we can go for Frailty and Flesh Eater. That all adds up nicely. And I have another 76 Paragon points I haven't spent. I could probably change another glyph to maybe weasel out more damage by just upstacking it. This one is definitely sitting in the wrong board with only 54 bonus. I think there's a board that should be able to give it 64 or even a 74 bonus. The way you get Barrier is over your Necrotic Fortitude, and it works plenty fine. We're actually having our Astral Pillar on top of our Corpse Explosion. It can be Astral Pillar, it can be Propulsion, and that gives me then 2 Barrier. Simple as cake. I can just, with my Corpse Explosion, trigger this, boom, Barrier. On top of the actual Barrier that we're getting, this just works wonders. Then we get your Catalytic skills have cooldown reduction, so I can use this more often. We get more main stat again, and my summons, if they injure someone or kill someone, get 30% bonus damage. The build can comfortably do Belial. I wish, though, that the Hand of Nas would work for that 100% damage multiplier that's missing on the Skeletal Mage Mastery. And if it was greater affix, it would actually be 120 to 140% more damage. Plus, if the Hand of Nas would actually properly work. So if it would do the right thing, if it would not just occasionally improve our damage, no, if it would actually improve the damage fixed, that would be making the build go from good to truly exceptional. Makes it, there's a Torment for Belial. Like, wasn't a big struggle. And that for a minion build. But we also do have all our glyphs to 100 because it's the test server. So that gotta be factored in, because usually you would have your glyphs at 46. Maybe 60. Not 100. It's like another 30% damage loss. What about the final fun, the Thorns Monkey? We played this already in Season 8. You could go for Rock Splitter, the basic attack, go pop, 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 and then have your Thorns go into the enemy. And the Thorns was actually multiplying up to 40 billion overpower damage. Like, holy hell. Sadly, they nerfed overpower. So instead of now playing overpower damage, we settled in for playing the Box Rune, where invoke a skill from another class, that would be the Necromancer's Decrepify with mobility skills. Our Rock Splitter is a mobility skill, and we're then getting the Quacks for the 100% bonus damage. And we're playing together this with the Belazon's Max Ladle. The Belazon's Max Ladle has your Thorns go out and do poison damage. And surprisingly, as you're bashing away at your target and then you trigger all your bonuses, the actual Thorns damage can do up to billions of damage. There's a 990 million there. The highest I've seen was now a 5 billion with my goddamn Thorns. And while this is happening, you have the poison damage, which ticks here for up to 300 million per second. And that's with me not actually scaling into the poison. So it's just the poison damage, the poison thorns passively happening on top of all the DPS you're doing already. That being said, I haven't felt too comfortable in Torment 4 yet. Torment 4 bosses. Torment 4 Pit okay, but not Torment 4 bosses. So we need to squeeze out more. We need to refine the concept. But by itself, using thorns, and let's do like just a Torment 4 to show you. The Razor Blade. Yes, we're using the good old Razor Blade, and you want to have it for greater affixed. Because in this case, thorns is all your damage. The Balazan's Max Ladle says it does your thorns to close enemies. And that's where the huge chunk of damage then comes from. Because if you're then doing the thorns to the close enemies, as you can see, like, it works plenty fine here. Right? But we need like another level of escalation. So I gotta find out how to scale my thorns even more. We're currently sitting with everything activated at 4,000 main stats, something, jiggy majiggy. And our thorns are 15,000. But 15,000 thorns is also something that I had on the Season 8. So I feel like there gotta be something more. I gotta be able to get the thorns higher than 15,000. Especially since the thorns is also like bound to like that we're attacking and everything. So there needs to be more. If we can boost the thorns to another level, that truly sounds like something that could be great. We do also have the Horadric Jewels actually helping us because they're increasing our thorns as well. And, like, it's working. It's fun. But we get this poison damage and we gotta like investigate more how to scale the poison damage. I think we can come up with something that will truly outstanding and fun in Season 9 as like an actual Spiritborn Thorns poison build. Now what you use to scale is if you have 2 Arcana of the School of Denial equipped, you get 30% more thorns. That's amazing. We have Denial, so another 30% thorns in all the thorns we're getting. This gives us thorns anyway, 681, and it gives us 6 ranks to Bastion 2. Bastion is this skill that gives us thorns too. And every bonus rank is actually tons of thorns on top. Plus, while you have Barrier, our thorns is anyways increased by another 20%. So we always want to have Barrier up to make this work. We did try out using Jaguar. We did try out using Gorilla. I have to say double Gorilla is currently better as you just maintain your Barrier and you're just safer. And it truly leads to good damage. Then you get the Razor Blade. We have the Loyalty's Mantle for the all stats that we hit everything here in our Paragon board. But also all stats because we want as much dexterity as possible, since in our key passive we're getting another 75% increase to our core stats if we use 2 abilities, a Gorilla ability and a Jack ability. That 75% increase has us go from dexterity 2.6 up to 4.2, and this can go up to 5,000 dex, and dex is your biggest scaler for your thorns. So you need that dexterity, greater affixed, then you masterwork it, because that will have your dexterity then as you get the 75% bonus, go up to 5k and beyond, and there we're going to be looking at 10-20 billion hits with your thorns as normal white damage, not even crits. We want the max ladle at a 300% bonus because this is only 260%, but it can actually be 300%. And then we have Seppo Sontag, which has our basic skill always be the 3rd attack. And if Rock Splitter is always the 3rd attack, it always deals damage around us, but it always also increases our thorns damage and throws our thorns bonus out to the enemy. And if all of this then is increased by another 100% by the Quox rune, that's fantastic. We did try Zen with the Overpower, but it actually is performing less efficient than the Quox, which is sad, but here we are. We also don't have tempers on everything and have it masterworked all the way up. There is still room for growth that you can then easily feel able to do Torment 4. The concept though is solid and it's super fun to do. Ladies and gentlemen, which one has the biggest interest? The Hydra, the Minions, or the Thorns Monkey? These are the 3 builds I'm absolutely going to rush into. As a heads up, Necromancer with Bloodwave is still working, so if you love doing that, fantastic. Rogue also with Death Trap, fantastic too, still working. These Season 8 builds are not trash, they're just weaker now. Tell me in the comments below what you're going to play, and also if you want to see Season 9, how it actually does play. Enjoy, and have a fantastic good day.